Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Superhuman Radio. It's January 20th, 2021. People are still making their commitments to change their health and their lives. And we've got a great show for you. It's really targeted to the women. We constantly try to do female-centric shows because we have an audience of women out there. And sometimes I like to do shows just for them. And today's show is exactly that. We're going to be joined by Gina Aliotti in just a couple minutes. She has a huge following, and rightfully so. She was a successful IFBB pro competitor and now a mother of two, and she motivates hundreds of thousands of women all around the world to get in the best shape of their life, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Excuse me. Before we do that, we have to first of all thank our title sponsor, and that's Legendary Foods. They have the new tasty pastry that is the birthday cake style. It's very different. If you had the other tasty pastries, they're more like a Pop-Tart. They're kind of a hard pastry. This one is reminiscent of an apple turnover. It's fluffy. It's crispy. It's almost like a phyllo dough kind of feel. But it's got 0 sugar and 20 grams of carbs. It's amazing. If you go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary, and use the code SHR10, you can save 10% off. Or listen for the secret word. There's a new secret word on every show. There's a winner every day. In the commercial breaks, where you usually fast forward through, shame on you. Now, if you listen and you hear the secret word, email the secret word to onair@superhumanradio.net, and you will be in the entry for that day. So you could win every day if you send the secret word to onair@superhumanradio.net and you're selected. It's very easy. So check this out. You'll love it. It's a free way to get a box of birthday cake tasty pastries. And of course, always show Legendary Foods love because they are the title sponsor. And now without further delay, I'll bring my guest on here and put up the image. Gina, how you doing?
Good. Hi, Carl. How are you?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course. You're a returning guest. People should know that. And you have had a great career as a competitor. I was just looking at this list. You have been featured in Muscle and Fitness, Fitness RX, Oxygen, Muscle and Fitness, Flex Magazine, and even the Huffington Post. You have an amazing following. You have more energy. I know your husband, Michael. He's a wonderful guy. He's super energetic, but I got to believe you can run circles around him. Am I right?
In the morning, yes. Meet me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe not so much.
And, you had 2 children. A lot of women will say to somebody, have you had children? And they'll be like, well, no. Oh, no wonder why you're in such great shape. You don't know what it feels like to be stretched out and have a beach ball inside of you. But how long did it take you after both of your children to kind of get right back into the groove?
I love the fact that we're going to talk a lot about consistency, because the truth is I never stopped doing what I love to do, which is showing up for myself every single day, even though that meant I had to pivot and find different ways to still show up. But I bounced right back, Carl, and I truly didn't even go too far off, because it wasn't even trying. I was just doing what I love and showing up every single day.
So just out of curiosity, how much weight did you actually put on in each pregnancy? Because this is a big issue of debate today.
You know, I put on about 17 to 20 pounds. And I mean, it was a very healthy amount of weight. It was a baby weight plus what, you know, the extra fluids and whatnot, but it was right within a healthy range. Nothing more, nothing less.
And see, that's the big mistake we make today. Women put on weight during pregnancy unnecessarily. A lot of them go into pregnancy not even needing to put on any more weight other than the actual weight of their baby. And yet they eat unrestricted. They feel like it's, I'm eating for two. That's nonsense. So right. I'm very happy to hear you endorse that you didn't get very far.
Absolutely. I have a whole pregnancy plan, exactly what I did, the workouts I did. Once you have that momentum going, you just keep doing it, whether you're pregnant or whether you have kids now. When you have that true passion and love for what you do, you find a way. Right? You become an excuse breaker. And so when people say that they need to eat for two, I mean, we all know that that's not true. And of course you need to adjust your diet and get in different macros and whatnot. But it really is just about eating the same way you do and not restricting yourself. But there's no need to eat for two human beings. You've got a tiny little baby.
So what do you do to motivate yourself? Obviously your motivation comes from within.
Right.
Or do you follow people? What do you do to motivate yourself day in and day out?
So my motivation, can you see her? That girl right there. All the interviews I've ever had, it's always a great question. Like who motivates you? How do you do this? And it really is my own personal motivation because it makes me feel good, because it makes me function at a different level. It makes me show up for my clients, my kids, my husband, for you right here when I show up for myself. So the fact that I am so solid in my why and knowing that it makes me show up a different person, that's my motivation. However, I'm human. We all have days, right, where we wake up and we're not motivated and, you know, we just want to throw in the towel and we have all these excuses. We're all human, but I have just cultivated such a strong mindset that I know how to snap myself out of it, even if it means I show up a little bit slower or messy or whatever it looks like. I just have been able to year after year cultivate this knowing of how I'm going to feel after. So I do a lot of self-talk, and in my app, I'm really big on mindset because that's what's going to get us showing up every single day. So every Monday I have a mantra that I share. It's an audio mantra. And it's these little, I call them mindset hacks, you know, that I use on a daily basis that get me from not wanting to show up to action.
Now, ladies can go to GinaAliotti.com and they can actually download the app for free for 7 days, right? Yes, absolutely. You can also find it in the App Store or through my website. Mm-hmm. And that's GinaAliotti for those of you listening to the podcast and not watching the video right now. Okay, so give me an example of a bad day for you when you have to really dig deep, and let's connect with the ladies out there, because, you know, even with me, a lot of the things that I don't do fall to Elisa. You know, most of us guys are like that. And I don't know. I don't want to say, oh, it's just our genes. We want to try to dodge a little work if we can. But, you know, Elisa works really much harder than I do. She really does. And as a result of that, I kind of feel like she could fall prey easier to like not wanting to be motivated. So give me an example of a day in Gina Aliotti's life where you're like, nah, I just don't have it today. I don't feel it. And then take me from there to, F it, I'm getting this done. Yeah, so it's funny because those are probably 90% of my days, Carl. I think people think that every day we wake up and we're like, yes, I'm doing this, I'm excited. No, it's, you know, you wake up, you're tired. You were up last night because for some reason you just didn't sleep well. You've got a lot going on in your mind. It's life, it's stress, it's motherhood, it's guilt, it's the season that we're living in. Hormones. I mean, I had this just last week, feeling gross and bloated and heavy and lethargic. And that's the last thing you want to do is get yourself up and start moving. But I just know that I tell myself,
If I do this, then that. This is one of the mantras. If I get up, then I'll feel better. If I get myself moving, then I can chill on the couch and call it a day. But I have to do this in order to do that. So, that's one of them. Another one is just to remember how good I'll feel after. I call it that walk of glory. When you're done and you've got that pep in your step. And even if it wasn't a great workout, every workout does not have to be great. You can have the worst workouts, but if you show up for yourself, you are going to feel amazing afterwards. And it infiltrates and just floods into every area of your life. So it really just goes with me checking myself, giving myself that moment of permission to say, I don't want to do this and this is going to suck. But then also being like, stop, Gina, get out of your head. You're always going to have this voice that's going to come tell you that you can't do something, you don't want to do something, you're tired, you have hormones, that time of the month, whatever it may be, but you have to stop it and you're in control of that. So it's really just that awareness and being able to shut that bad bird that always is going to be that voice in our ear and to get into action. And 9 times out of 10, those workouts and those days where I'm just not feeling it end up being the best workouts where I have more energy than ever. And those are the workouts that help me inspire other people to get through, because I have to recycle these same mantras in my head that I teach through my coaching.
So you and I are both Italian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the Italians, we have something similar that Jewish people do, and that is guilt. We use guilt sometimes to get what we need. And at least my mom did. Do you ever use guilt? Do you ever say to a woman, okay, don't do it for yourself, do it for your kids, because if you don't do this, they're going to end up having to take care of you someday?
No, I think that is one of the worst things we can do is do things like people have this guilt. And I think that's why a lot of mothers, I would say, they feel it's selfish. Like, I can't do this because my kids. And the truth is that we cannot pour from an empty cup. We have to give ourselves that, that fuel to be able to take care of them. My kids aren't taking care of me. I'm going to take care of them, have that mindset that in order for me to care for them, in order for me to do these things, I have to show up for myself. And it's truly the most selfless thing you can do. And I see it all the time where, mothers get busy, they have kids, and all of a sudden they start to put themselves on the back burner. And it's okay for a little while, trying to get your groove back. But over time, I think that life, the layers of life start to happen. You put yourself on the back burner, and before you know it, you're in this hole and you can't get yourself out. So I help people to kind of reignite that fire, to get them by making themselves a priority and themselves non-negotiable. And it's amazing, Carl, what comes from that and how I see their role as a mother, their job, how they excel in their job. And it just, once you break through that it's selfish, and you can see that, no, I have to do this in order to do that, everything changes.
So your app is built around the fact that women don't need to go to the gym to do the things that you feel are more than adequate, that will actually change their bodies. So, and again, the app is available at your website, GinaAliotti.com, GinaAliotti.com. Tell me some of the things that you have women doing in the comfort of their own homes, because that's a big excuse for women. Remember, women didn't want to go to the gym, so they created curves where there were no mirrors and no men. And then women were willing to go to the gym. But the reality is, if you could do it at home, that's even better, because you put your kid down for a nap, you got a half hour to bust out a routine. What do you have women doing at home?
Everything you can do at the gym, you can do at home. And here's another excuse people have is, I can't go to a gym. I don't have the time. So I help break that excuse and show people that, number one, these workouts are 15 to 25 minutes. A lot of them are right around that 20-minute mark. We get through a killer workout doing full body. That's more my style. Some workouts are more tailored towards upper body, shoulders, lower body. But for the most part, the G-Fit circuits are full body. So they're effective. You're doing high intensity stuff. Some days we slow it down. But not only are you getting a great workout, but I've created a program to keep people showing up every day, because every day is something different. So every day is, you're not getting bored doing the same thing. So everything that we do at the gym, we can do at home with less equipment, I really focus on that mind muscle connection. So really with very little, if we connect into our mind muscle connection, we can get the most incredible burn and workout by doing less with minimal equipment.
So thanks to J-Lo, who is the OG on booties. If it wasn't for J-Lo's booties wouldn't be popular today. I'm going to tell you, she deserves all the credit for starting that. She was happy about her Puerto Rican body. She said, this is what it is. And people just fell in love with it. Thank God. And so do you have specific routines to help women who feel like they're getting older, their butt is starting to flatten out a little bit, they would like it to be a little more proud? Can you help women at home with routines at home?
Absolutely. So, you can spot reduce. So while we wish that we could just plump up this one area or lose in this one area. So with my workouts being full body workouts, we're hitting it all. But there are specific challenges that I do that are specific to certain areas. Like I have a big summer squat challenge where we do 100 squats every day of summer. And it sounds intimidating, but it can be broken up however somebody wants to do it. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 all throughout the day. So I make it really realistic for people to show up every day because, again, it's all about that consistency. It's all about showing up every single day and giving your best every day.
The other issue that we see in the population is we see a lot of people, men and women, with distended stomachs. A lot of it has to do with diet, and we're going to talk about diet a little bit later in the show. But are the crunches and sit-ups still the hallmark of training abs, or what do you use to help people get their abs back in shape?
It's funny you mentioned that. I just threw out an email today talking about abs. People are always like asking how many times a week should I do abs? The truth is every workout that we're doing, and I help coach people through this connection, we're lacing in the abs. We're sucking in that abs. Everything stems from our core. So even if we're doing a bicep curl, we're working our abs. Even when we're lifting a bag from the grocery store, we're working our abs if you're properly engaging to your core. So I help people to engage the core. So with every workout that we do, we always throw in a little bit of core work, but really every workout, the core is engaged. A couple workouts throughout the week, we will do specifically like crunches and what you would think of as core work, but every workout we're engaging that core. And then again, I have some fun work challenges throughout the year that are specific to the core, the muffin top melt or a 31-day ab challenge, really to build that core strength. Because again, everything stems from that core, and with a weak core, you can start to have back issues and everything else can start to fall apart. So it's really important to have not only the abs that we all wish and dream of, but to have that core stabilization, which helps in every area of your training.
You talked about back problems. A lot of people have back problems today. Do you have women that come to you and once they start training, they feel like their back problems go away?
Absolutely. 100%. Because, so many people are just trying to lift too much weight. Their form is not correct. And when I can help people to really tune into that form and that connection, they're doing, not only are they more in tune, they're doing a lot less weight. So my programs are, it's funny because I started out, competing, and one might have thought a little bit more of a, hardcore look. My programs are really about longevity. Knock on wood, I've been, grateful that I haven't had any injuries because of the way I train. I don't push super crazy heavy weight. I'm really, really careful about, proper form, making sure everything's in alignment. And then I also incorporate yoga and stretching. I'm really big on a balanced approach. So a lot of people don't want to do some of those less intense workouts such as yoga, but they're so important for the body and for the mind. But yeah, it keeps people really engaged and aligned. And so a lot of people have noticed that their injuries they've gotten a whole lot better, and they've improved some injuries that they may have started with.
So you look very young. I mean, really young, right? Like you could easily pass for in your 20s. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Can I ask how old you are? That's a taboo, but can I ask how old you are now?
36.
Okay. And so a lot of women think that it's too late. If I would have started a long time ago, I've got a lot of body fat on me. Is it ever too late for a woman to say, I'm gonna change the way my body looks?
Never. So many of the GFit girls are upwards in their 50s, early 60s and feel incredible. It's like the beautiful thing about this lifestyle is you can jump on board at any time. And I feel like actually when you jump on board later in life, as you get older, you start to have as a woman, I'm getting older, you start to have all of those kind of thoughts. But when you can take action and you can start to see those changes in your body, it's so empowering for these women to start actually seeing changes in their body at a later age. And again, to start feeling that confidence that may start to diminish as they're getting older and they see old pictures of themselves and think, I'll never be that again. Well, of course, you're never going to be that, but you can even be better because you're going to be a better version of yourselves at a much more mature age. So now you've got the knowledge, and now we put that on, change your body. Oh, that's a beautiful marriage right there.
And a lot of women, as they mature, their bodies actually look better. They grow a little bit more in the butt. They have a nicer shape to them that they didn't have when they were very, very young. And so I can see what you're saying. How old is the oldest woman that's on the GFit program?
High 60s. I don't know if we have any 70s. That'd be a really good question, but high 60s. And these ladies are inspiring me.
Really?
And oh gosh, it's incredible. It's like you see they're doing so amazing. They look incredible. They're shining. They're inspiring. They're motivating all of us, and it's like, wow, it's actually it's good testimony to the GFit lifestyle, though, that we only get better as we age. And you're absolutely right with what you said, Carl, because, we have that muscle memory, number one. So even if you were an athlete in your younger days, you're going to get that back really, really quick. But the density over time, and that's why the consistency with our workouts, you only get better. You only get more dense. Your muscles only look better as you continue and as you age.
Now, the people who are still in the family growing business, which thank God I'm not in that arena anymore, do you espouse training with your children? Like, I don't know. I mean, I see people actually using their babies to train. I don't know about that. That might make good on Instagram.
Yes.
But how about the kids just watching you train? Do you think that that's an important thing for the kids to grow up and see mommy doing these things?
Lead by example, always. I mean, I had some true times of, having the baby wrap on me and doing my squats. And again, just finding a way, whatever it may be, having, my daughter's around crawling and then she'd come up on me and I'd use her for a crunch. So it was like, working her in, but I let it just flow organically because I really believe that they're going to learn more by watching than by you trying to tell them what to do. And I've seen it with my own experience, with my kids. When I tell them to do something, they're not really going to do it as much as when they watch. And then I'm seeing, oh, David's over there trying to do a kettlebell swing, so they really pick up by just watching. And so I just try to be that example for my kids.
Patty Catalano is a childhood friend. I know her since I was like 14 years old. She says she's falling in love with you, that you're so right on.
Oh, thanks, Kathy.
Yeah, another Italian girl too. Her grandmother used to own an Italian bakery called Primrose on Liberty Avenue. They made the best Italian bread in the world, the best.
Mm-hmm.
And just walking down that street on Liberty Avenue, you'd smell the bread baking. It was like immediately you got hungry. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh, I can just start smelling my grandmother's cooking right now. Oh, yes.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. But before we do that, I just want to plug the website again. It's Gina Aliotti, GinaAliotti.com. You can download the GFit app for free and get 7 days for free. And the free app offers quite a lot of stuff before you even get into the paid version, right?
It's the entire app. So you can check out the entire app for 7 days free. And you'll see that it's not your everyday app. It's a lifestyle. It's your nutrition, which we're going to get into the diet. It's your mindset work. It's your daily workouts. It's your community. I have an incredible GFit tribe. It is the most positive, authentic, real, supportive, motivating group on Facebook, and I'm very proud of it. So there's so many aspects that come when you download the app.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I've got lots more questions for Gina. Stay tuned. This is Superhuman Radio. We shall return. Getting a massage post-workout is a proven strategy to facilitate better recovery. Getting to massage therapists can be difficult and expensive, especially in these times. The solution is the Meteor, a heated massage ball from Milestorm. Reduce pain and soreness and expedite recovery with the Meteor's research-backed vibration settings and therapeutic heat. It's convenient for travel and works on any body part. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Meteor and use code SHR15 for 15% off and free shipping if you buy 2 or more. Start recovering better today. By now, you're aware of the cognitive benefits of nootropics. My friends over at Pure Nootropics are giving my listeners 10 to 30% off their already great prices on over 70 high-quality nootropics. Stock up on DHM so you can feel good after your holiday celebration, or try the Superhuman Stack to boost your brain and energize your day. Go to shrnetwork.biz/pure, that's PURE, and start saving today. Surreptitious.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
January is World Carnivore Month, and more people are finding the carnivore diet alleviates the symptoms of autoimmune disorders as well as digestive and gut problems. But there's one issue. The carnivore diet is called the low residue diet because you're not eating plants and you're not getting fiber, and the protein takes longer and longer to digest. Some people notice that they are very constipated in the early phases of their carnivore diet adventure. Well, I have the solution. It's a product by Bioptimizers called P3OM. P3OM is a probiotic that is specifically designed to digest protein. In fact, P3OM doubles its population in your gut every 20 minutes, making it easier and faster to digest the protein you're consuming on your carnivore diet. If you find the carnivore diet is hard for you to stick to, don't give up. Just add P3OM into the mix and you'll love it. Go to shrnetwork.biz/P3OM and use the code SUPERHUMAN, that's SUPERHUMAN, and save 10% off today. Being superhuman means being conscientious about the choices we make. White Oak Pastures is superhuman when it comes to raising livestock. They're committed to animal welfare, land regeneration, and rural revival. They responsibly manage the entire process from the pasture to your doorstep. High-quality, pasture-raised, great-tasting meat from a farm you can trust. Full nose-to-tail selections. They even have options for your pet. Go to shrnetwork.biz/whiteoak and use code SHR20 to save 20% off your entire first order.
Move over, superheroes. This is the Superhuman Channel.
Welcome back. So I want to tell you a little story about a device I've been playing with. It's called Nucom. It's really amazing, and I'll tell you why it's amazing. Because it harnesses your nervous system and actually can make you feel more relaxed, as the name implies. And the fascinating thing about it is you can actually turn on relaxation very, very easily. You can use it to recover from exercise. You can use it to help you get to sleep. People who complain that their brains are constantly going at night, they just can't shut their brain off, they say. This is what you need. Nucom uses a scientific approach to actually flipping the switch on your nervous system so that you can feel more rested and fall asleep quickly. What I'm doing with it right now is one of the things that I love, and I've talked to my friend Ron Penna about a lot, is the whole rest and digest thing. We forget that after we train and we have that post-workout meal, there's an opportunity to actually turn on anabolic machinery faster if we honor rest and digest. Think of the big cats after they chase down a gazelle and their tummy is full, they lay under a tree and they fall asleep. Most of us can't do that. I can't take a nap after I have my post-workout meal because I got to be in the studio. So what I do now is I come in the studio, I put the little disc on my wrist that actually helps you send signals to your heart rate. Use the app, follow the instructions, and it's the same thing as falling asleep for a little while. Rest and digest. This is a great product. It's worthy of your attention. I love this product. In fact, I used it today before the show because I was a little jacked up working between 3 different projects, and I had to kind of bring myself down. Do what I did. Go to Newcom and make 2021 the year that you actually achieve the goals that you want. Go to SHR Newcom, that's NUCALM.com. You'll get 50% off a 30-day subscription. Again, that's Newcom, NUCALM, SHR NUCALM.com. It comes with a money-back guarantee. You'll love it. Check it out. Tell them Carl sent you. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk about, Gina. The first one is, and you mentioned a second ago, hormones, right? There's a lot of people out there who say that women who go through menopause don't have any special challenges. They just don't move enough, and that's why they gain body fat. You work with a lot of women. Do you have to take special consideration if you're someone who's postmenopausal?
That's a good question. I have found that through my methods, and I do carb cycling, I do a very balanced approach. I don't eliminate one macro. I just have a strategic way of doing it. Things balance out. I think what happens is women go on extremes, especially once they start to see themselves gain some weight, or they start to blame hormones. They already check that box, I'm done. And they, eat whatever, or they just start to pull calories because they see that lower abdomen pooch. And that's the worst thing you can do, because now you're throwing off your hormones that much more. So it's really about having a wonderful balance of all macro fats, proteins, carbs. I believe that we need them all, but of course, in a very strategic way, focusing on low glycemic carbs, of course. But I believe that having a balanced program and incorporating nutrition, and you just talked about with the products you are recommending, being able to focus on mindfulness and slowing down and focusing on stress, because stress is the number one hormone that's going to increase, and the lower abs is all related to stress. So I feel like it's really a lifestyle change that needs to happen. And once you get in this beautiful flow, with the GFIT program, or when you find your perfect balance, things will all start to fall in place. And I have proof, because I have women that are premenopausal, postmenopausal, who are in better shape now than they were, pre-menopause. So, proof is in the pudding, and I've seen it. And I've also been able to kickstart hormones again from those that have had years of extreme dieting, or, whatever it may be, where we put them on a really balanced plan. They get their cycle back. I have one client who's gotten pregnant 3 times after a missed cycle, all because of the steps that we take in, the methods that I coach and preach.
Postmenopausal women complain about hot flashes or flushes, depending on how you like to pronounce it, bad sleep, brain fog in the morning. When they start training and they're doing it for a while, do they see a lot of those symptoms kind of just go away?
Yes, but it takes time, because a lot of it's rewiring your brain. And so I like to dig deep within my clients, my one-on-ones, or even through the GFIT app. There's a lot of one-on-one availability there to understand what's going on in their life. What are the other factors? Because I feel like we're just so quick to blame. Oh, it's hormones. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And then come to find out, you realize, oh, they're not sleeping. Oh, they're going, they are facing burnout because they're going too hard, afraid of taking days off. So you start to see the bigger picture. And because I've been doing this for so long, I can kind of pinpoint and be like, it's this. And so I can help people through that. But it's only very normal for people that don't have the years of experience to kind of blame certain things. And that, when you start to blame something and you just automatically blame this as this is the reason why, that's kind of you can go down a really wrong path there. But I like to look at the big picture, and I like to help people kind of navigate around what they think the issue is. And it's amazing how they think it might be hormones or menopause, when really it's that they need to tap into where's their stress levels. What's their diet look like? Are they are they not getting enough food? Are they restricting themselves? There's just so many other, too much processed foods. There's all these other things that may be affecting hormones. And so I like to dig deep with the clients to understand the bigger picture around what's going on.
So I'm asking you this question to set the stage for another question.
Mm-hmm.
Would the women in the audience be surprised to find out how much you actually eat, that you eat a lot of food?
I do. And on my plans, vegetables are free. So I'm a big volume eater. I come from an Italian family, somebody who, they show their love by mangia, eat
Right.
more. So I have a big appetite. I was raised to eat more, to finish the plate is a way of showing love. And so I had to find a way, because most people think, I don't like the word dieting, but most people think that when you get on a program that you're going to be restricting yourself. And I see what people eat on a diet, and I am like, there's no way I could do that. There is no way I could eat like that. I see these little tiny micro meals,
Right.
And when you see all the meals that we're preparing with free vegetables and how to volumize your food so you can eat a plethora of food. You should see these plates. You should see my salad bowl. But it's like, we're never hungry and we're satisfied. And that's how you stay on track. Because if I was starving and eating these tiny micro meals, Carl, I'd be a house.
Right. And that's where I was going with this. So no man has ever said, after stepping off the scale, I'm never eating again. But every woman on the planet has actually said that and done that. And so what women tend to do is eat less and then ramp up their cardio, and they actually don't lose weight. Do you find when you take that person and you unlock their brain and say, trust me, you need to eat more food, and they start losing weight, are they shocked?
100%. I have so many. This is where I get touched, because of so many testimonials of women who have been doing more, grinding harder, not eating enough. And then trust me, it takes time to rewire that brain, because think about it. You're telling me that we're going to do less. I'm going to do less with my workouts. I'm going to eat more often and more food, and I'm going to get results, and I'm going to feel good, and I'm going to feel more balanced. Like it just, if you think about that without knowing anything, that sounds crazy.
Right.
So I really have to just tell them to just trust the process. And now I have so many years of testimonials from people. So I like them to be the example. I like to talk and preach and share, but I like them to explain their experiences and to share their experiences, because then you're like, wow, there is something to this. But it does take committing, and it takes, my favorite word, consistency. You have to trust in the plan, knowing that, hey, you can always go back to the way you used to do things. But if you want to change your life and things aren't working for you, you have to commit, and you have to trust a plan for a significant amount of time for things to start to work.
So is the scale your friend? Like, women get on the scale every single day. And one day they're a pound up and they swear it's body fat, and they go crazy. Is the scale your friend?
No, the scale is your worst enemy. Take the scale, do me a favor, and if you don't have the courage to throw it away, just lock it up for a month. I had a month where I did a scale-free September. It was the best month. Women were waking up on fire. They were like, oh my gosh. And then at the end of the 30 days, they realized that they either didn't gain if they were following the plan, or they lost. But the scale, and especially first thing in the morning, because that is when women, right? Because I haven't eaten yet, I haven't drank anything. I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm going to step on the scale.
Let me take my slippers off and my robe off, because that's going to contribute a pound.
Yes. But let me take the courage, and then they look, and it's like, it's either going to be the best day ever, or it's going to be the worst day ever. And I'm like, why do you let this thing change your entire day? And then the cortisol starts to rise, and your entire day is stemmed off of the number that you saw on that scale. But don't forget, oh, I had Chinese food yesterday. You're not remembering that maybe you had extra sodium in your diet, and that's water showing up on the scale, but you're letting that change your day. I just can't. So that month, September, scale-free September, it was so beautiful how for people to see that the scale did not determine their day. And it was pretty awesome to see.
Do women understand the difference between weight from muscle and weight from body fat and fluid, obviously?
No, I think that there needs to be better understanding of awareness between, what is body fat, what is, because the goal really is to shift your body composition. We want to drop body fat, but at the same time, we want the muscle density to improve, and we want that ratio to change. So a lot of times, I mean, if you have a lot of weight to lose, of course you're going to lose weight. But once you get to a certain point, it becomes less about dropping weight and more about just shifting that composition. So your weight may not change, or it may slightly go up, but your entire body will change. And, I think, people don't understand the difference there, even with water weight. You cannot gain 4 pounds overnight. It's not possible.
Well, you can gain 4 pounds, but it's not fat. It's water.
Right.
You urinate it out when the conditions change. Right, exactly.
Correct, yes.
And then, of course, we come back and we finish this particular segment with talking about hormones again. So women who are still menstruating, they have challenges when it comes time, when their period starts, during their period, and then once their period is over. How do they address that? Should they back down their training? What can they do or should they even adjust for their period?
So that's a good question. I think that people can use it as an excuse. I'm bloated. I don't want it. So maybe you show up and you're showing up a little bit differently, slower, maybe you just don't feel right. But a lot of times, once you break through those excuses, once you get moving, that's the best thing. Everything, your endorphins, everything starts to just flow and you start feeling better, because I've had those moments where I've not felt like going. I actually feel crampy and I just say, Gina, just go. Even if you're slow and you're walking at a snail's pace, just get out. The movement does so much for your body, getting out, getting fresh air, just go. And it's okay if it's really slow. It doesn't have to be a Tabata crazy circuit. Just get out and move. And so I feel like, yes, you may need to adjust the intensity, but you don't need to adjust whether or not you show up or not.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that when women do move and they are crampy, while they're moving, the cramps probably subside to a certain degree.
Right.
The website is GinaAliotti.com, GinaAliotti.com. Download the GFit app, have it free for 7 days, test drive it. If you like it, sign up. Because, look, Gina she was a professional competitor, and now she's an average superwoman. And she can help you. She's got children. She understands what life is all about. Check it out. I'm telling you, if you don't do anything, nothing is going to change. That's the truth. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Superhuman Radio. Are you ready to change the way you age? Of course you are. That's why you're here. Juvicel is a new first-of-its-kind dietary supplement that includes 10 key research-backed ingredients shown in studies to support lifespan. Things like resveratrol, fisetin, quercetin, pterostilbene, sulforaphane, turmeric, all in a single dose. You may have some of these ingredients already, but Juvicel is the first to combine them all into a single product to support your lifespan. It's vegan, non-GMO, and sustainable. Live better longer with Juvicel. Go to shrnetwork.biz/live better. Use code SHR and save 20% off today. Getting a massage post-workout is a proven strategy to facilitate better recovery. Getting to massage therapists can be difficult and expensive, especially in these times. The solution is the Meteor, a heated massage ball from Milestorm. Reduce pain and soreness and expedite recovery with the Meteor's research-backed vibration settings and therapeutic heat. It's convenient for travel and works on any body part. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Meteor and use code SHR15 for 15% off and free shipping if you buy 2 or more. Start recovering better today. Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000, or shop for apparel that people at the gym will know that you are serious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon One banner ad today. Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor? Strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon. TaylorMade Health is focused on making sure you're able to perform and look your best. They are a leader in game-changing supplements and cosmetic products. Whether you want to increase strength, expedite recovery, facilitate soft tissue repair, or reduce deep wrinkles, TaylorMade Health has you covered. TaylorMade Health is also the home to Dr. Seed's products such as BPC, BPC Plus, and the Chill Pill. All of my listeners can now get 20% off their first order with code TRY20. That's TRY20. This code can even be used on subscription orders. Visit shrnetwork.biz/try20 today and use code TRY20 for 20% off your first order.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. We're ripped and we're ready.
Welcome back. I'm going to change the topic a little bit now. We're going to talk about diet, because the reality is that the hard work that we do at home or in the gym really amounts to about 15 to 20% of the results. The real results is diet. And diet doesn't work unless you're consistent. And I want to just put up a picture for a second, because I want people to understand that I have a feeling for this. So this is me on the left, me consistently eating a certain way for about 15 years. And that is me on the right, me eating a consistent way for about a decade, maybe 12 years. And there's no mystery. There's no mystery to the outcome. There's no thrifty gene at work here. If there was a real thrifty gene, like, oh, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight, then when we go to prisoner of war camps, we would find 1 or 2 guys that are just fat. They're starving everybody, but Joe and Bill over there, they seem to be big fat guys. They're getting 1 meal a day. The rest of us are skin and bones. So when people tell me, my genetics, I say, look, I've been there. Your genetics are making you eat more. That's the bottom line. So talk about consistency and in diet especially.
Yeah, so I think that the best diet is the one that you're going to stick with, the one that you're going to be consistent with. And I know there's so many diets out there and everyone's looking for the next best thing, but it really boils down to which one are you going to stick to? There's so many benefits to keto. There's so many benefits to all these different things, but can you truly never have a carb again? Or, and I feel like you have to find what works for you and what gets you excited. And when I see these girls light up over, these beautiful meals that we have, we make wraps, we make pasta out of, shirataki noodles or spaghetti squash or zoodles, or there's so many ways to still get what you want. So I feel like when you're depriving yourself and you wake up and you can't stand what you're eating, that's just a recipe for disaster, because you're not going to stick to it. And most of the time you're going to you're going to get worse than when you started, because you're going to follow a diet. Like, let's pretend like it's keto and you're eating high fats, but then, oh gosh, you have your sugar and your ice cream because you haven't broken that habit yet. And then you add in carbs because you're having the munchies. That's a recipe for disaster. So it's really about finding a plan that you're going to be 100% consistent with. And hey, listen, even if it's not the right plan for you, you have to be consistent with whatever plan that you jump on, so you know whether or not it's going to work. So I think that's the biggest thing, is finding what's going to work for you and what gets you excited and what you really look forward to eating, where you just look at your food and I wouldn't want it any other way. This is amazing, and you get excited about what you're eating.
So one of the things that you learned and I learned being involved in physical culture for a period of our lives is that frequent meals is magic. Eating every 2.5 hours, every 3 hours, you don't have the blood sugar dips and falls. You're never hungry. If you ate 2,500 calories a day in 3 meals versus 5, it's a completely different feeling, because you're just never hungry. In fact, most people, when they start eating more frequently, think I'm never going to be able to eat all this food, and then they find that they can. Isn't that what actually boosts your metabolism when you start having more frequent meals as opposed to those breakfast, lunch, dinner bombardments?
Yeah, and in my lifestyle and the way that I've done things, and with the programs I have, the small frequent meals tends to be the best, because like you said, you're not hungry. And I feel like even for myself, when I get too hungry, that's when I'm like, give me whatever's quick. And I'm too busy to prepare my chicken and have my meals prepared. So what's quick? It may not be the best choice. So keeping the blood sugar steady, keeping the metabolism going throughout the day, and keeping you from going into that hangry state, which is where all the trouble starts. So I have found that to be a beautiful recipe.
And talk about meal prep, because that's an important one. You just touched on it. If people don't, well, first of all, the average person eats the same 9 to 11 things week in and week out. So this idea that, everything has to be a gourmet production is nonsense. And if you just replace the 9, 11 things that you're eating now, and you may not even replace all of them with things that fit, but you break it into more frequent meals, you're gonna win when you do it long enough. And we're going to talk about long enough in a second. But isn't the real secret what you just said? Like, if you don't prepare your foods, if you don't think them out ahead of time, don't even bother. Don't even think about losing weight, because until you take that part seriously, you're really not going to work. So
meal prep is you have to prep, you have to prepare. But listen, people get so overwhelmed by meal prep, and I understand, because they see all these beautiful pictures on Pinterest, and it's like overwhelming. I get overwhelmed looking at it. I keep things simple, especially with my busy life right now, but simple doesn't have to be bland and boring. And that's why I term it simple creative. So you make a batch of chicken, right? You're already making chicken for dinner, grill up 5 times the chicken. And if you're somebody who can just eat the same thing every day, then fine, have your chicken, have your vegetables, have your quinoa or whatever. Or if it's a fat day, have your avocados, however you want to do it. But if you're somebody that wants creativity and you need change, you can take that same chicken breast and you can wrap it. You can put it in lettuce wraps. You can throw it in a stir fry. You can throw it in an omelet. You can throw it over zoodles. There's so many ways to take that same staple, because Carl, when you're eating a clean diet and you want to lose weight and you want to eat healthy, these are the foods that you're going to eat, right? We have the certain foods that are going to just be, no matter what diet you're on, these are clean foods. These are the foods. But it's a matter of like taking those foods, getting creative with them. And it doesn't need to be, you don't need to sit there and bake loaves and bagels, because I have all those recipes too, if you want to get creative and have some fun. Right. But I would say that's like next level GFIT. If you just want to start to, learn the lifestyle and just simplify things, simple, creative, but you'd be so amazed by what you can do with a simple chicken breast.
So another challenge for people is when they don't prep and they're on the road and it's not practical for whatever reason to have food with them. I've learned tricks. Like, my nephew is now training and I'm working with him on his diet. So yesterday he and I had to be on the road a little bit. I walked into Kroger's with him. We picked up 2 pouches of salmon, the large ones, 30 grams of protein each. We picked up 1 of the Uncle Ben's prepared. It's already prepared. It's in the bag. You're supposed to put it in the microwave. I don't put plastic in the microwave, but I said, grab that bag, and we grabbed an avocado. I says, there's 2 meals, a pouch of salmon, half of the bag of rice. It's already cooked. It's seasoned. It tastes delicious. And a half of an avocado. You don't have to cave in and eat crap just because you didn't prepare food. If you understand what foods to eat. Do you have any go-to, I'm on the run, let me just go grab this real quick?
So I'm in the middle of a kitchen remodel right now. I have 0 kitchen existent right now. I'm living out of my living room, okay? So it's the top of my head, these simple tricks. First of all, people are making it so easy now with the pop tops. So a can of tuna, you've got the can of salmon. Yeah. You don't even need a can opener. However, I do have a can opener stash because I know that, emergencies moment, but they just make it so easy. The pouches, as you said. So deli turkey. Last night for dinner, have you seen those Just Chickens? You can get a Tupperware from your store of just chicken. It's beautifully cut rotisserie chicken breast. You don't even need to you don't even need to get the rotisserie anymore and deal with the skin and everything. It was beautiful. So I just threw those in a salad with some dressing. So deli turkey is a great one. when you're in a bind, rice cakes, they're delicious, whether you want to put some peanut butter on it, throw some of that tuna on there, use it as a chip with your salad. When it comes to fats, the avocado cups now come beautiful in one serving cup. Handful of nuts is always a great option. So, one of my favorite things to do, Carl, is to really help people to just flip the script. And these people they don't understand. And I get it because it can be very overwhelming, but there's so many tricks. And once you find those tricks and you have those, it's it. It's all you need.
That's it. That comes back to the whole 9 to 11 things a week that the average person eats. Once you have 9 to 11 tricks, you know what I mean? You're done. You can be consistent. And I really want to take our last commercial break. And when we come back, I want to talk about when we talk about consistent, how long should somebody really give a particular diet a good, honest try before they say, this isn't working for me? Because I see one of the big problems we have, especially with women, is if they don't see in a week or two, I'm not losing weight. I got to do. I'm wasting my time with this. I got to do something else. And they jump off that train just before it gets into the station, just before they're going to start seeing results. So I want to ask you your professional opinion on how long you really have to give a diet a good try before you say it's just not for me. We're talking with Gina Aliotti. Let me put her website up here again. It is GinaAliotti.com. Download her GFit app. Get it for 7 days for free. Give it a try. Like I said before, if you don't try something new, you're not going to have any change to what you're doing right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Are you ready to change the way you age? Of course you are. That's why you're here. Juvicel is a new first-of-its-kind dietary supplement that includes 10 key research-backed ingredients shown in studies to support lifespan. Things like resveratrol, fisetin, quercetin, pterostilbene, sulforaphane, turmeric, all in a single dose. You may have some of these ingredients already, but Juvicel is the first to combine them all into a single product to support your lifespan. It's vegan, non-GMO, and sustainable. Live better longer with Juvicel. Go to shrnetwork.biz/live better. Use code SHR and save 20% off today. Surreptitious. January is World Carnivore Month, and more people are finding the carnivore diet alleviates the symptoms of autoimmune disorders as well as digestive and gut problems. But there's one issue. The carnivore diet is called the low residue diet because you're not eating plants and you're not getting fiber, and the protein takes longer and longer to digest. Some people notice that they are very constipated in the early phases of their carnivore diet adventure. Well, I have the solution. It's a product by Bioptimizers called P3OM. P3OM is a probiotic that is specifically designed to digest protein. In fact, P3OM doubles its population in your gut every 20 minutes, making it easier and faster to digest the protein you're consuming on your carnivore diet. If you find the carnivore diet is hard for you to stick to, don't give up. Just add P3OM into the mix and you'll love it. Go to shrnetwork.biz/P3OM and use the code SUPERHUMAN. That's SUPERHUMAN and save 10% off today. TaylorMade Health is focused on making sure you're able to perform and look your best. They are a leader in game-changing supplements and cosmetic products. Whether you want to increase strength, expedite recovery, facilitate soft tissue repair, or reduce deep wrinkles, TaylorMade Health has you covered. TaylorMade Health is also the home to Dr. Seed's products such as BPC, BPC Plus, and the Chill Pill. All of my listeners can now get 20% off their first order with code TRY20. That's TRY20. This code can even be used on subscription orders. Visit shrnetwork.biz/try20 today and use code TRY20 for 20% off your first order. By now, you're aware of the cognitive benefits of nootropics. My friends over at Pure Nootropics are giving my listeners 10 to 30% off their already great prices on over 70 high-quality nootropics. Stock up on DHM so you can feel good after your holiday celebration, or try the Superhuman Stack to boost your brain and energize your day. Go to shrnetwork.biz/pure, that's PURE, and start saving today.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
This is the Superhuman Channel, where brawn and brains finally meet.
Welcome back. We're talking with Gina Aliotti. We're talking about diet right now and consistency. And I know, if you're overweight, you have eaten consistently every day for years to put the weight on. That's the truth. And all you have to do is leverage that same consistency and change the food you're eating, and you will have the body that you dream of. How long should someone give a particular diet? Okay, excluding the whole, I hate this diet, I don't want to eat it. But they like the diet, but how long do they have to give a diet a chance to actually show results? What do you think?
It's funny how you talk about, the years of eating a certain way. And if you imagine like a basket and you've just woven, you've been eating a certain way, or you imagine like a paper towel roll. I love this analogy. Year after year after year after year after year. But yet you expect, or people expect results to happen within weeks, or especially with, with what you see out there and all these marketing ads. The truth is it's going to take time to unweave that basket, to get through all those layers of that paper towel roll. So you have to commit. I would like to say 12 weeks. I would like to say less than that, but I want to 6
Be
weeks.
honest.
Yeah, I want to be honest, like 6 weeks. Like right now I'm running a 6-week challenge in the app. We do challenges throughout the year. You can jump on board the challenge, or you can just cruise with the rest of the app. And we're 2 weeks in. And, the mantra this week was really all about the ugly duckling phase, because I know people, maybe especially after the holidays, they go from nothing or eating whatever to jumping on a plan. And it's 1 week and they're like, I've completely changed the way I'm eating. I'm so proud of myself. I haven't eaten the sugar. I'm eating for purpose. I'm following the plan, Gina, and I'm not seeing the results. So this week I really talked about how, it takes time, but you have to remember too that your body's going through an adjustment phase. And I call it the ugly duckling phase, where you almost feel worse before you get better. And as you continue on, you'll start to see the changes, but you have to be consistent in order to see those changes and for the magic to work. And I say 12 weeks, Carl, because when I was prepping for the shows back in the day, it was usually typically a 12-week prep. 12 was
right.
pretty standard. And I know that I'm going to step on stage in a bikini, and I'm also going for, these big goals. I did not deviate, and I can 100% tell you this at all. And it wasn't until week 8 where I really started to see those changes in my body. And I was doing the cardio. I was, competitor style. So you're that next level. So when I say 12 weeks, I'm coming from a state of, I didn't deviate. I got everything on plan. I was doing double day cardios. I was eating perfect. And it still took me 8 weeks to start to really see it. So people need to give it time. They need to trust in the process, and they need to stop hopping around because they're on something and then they look on social media and, they've got it down where we get all these pop-ups now. Somehow they know that you're dieting and they throw in there like, and then it tweaks. You go over here and you start reading up on this, and you just need to fully commit to one program, give it 12 weeks. And then, hey, if it's not for you, perfect. And you can move on, but you're never going to know unless you 100% commit.
Let's bust a couple myths. Women will say, oh, I don't want to be muscular like a man. They're never going to be muscular like a man, right?
We don't have the testosterone to do that. And the amount of work it takes to even gain a little bit of muscle. Again, and I always relate back to the contest days because that's when I was training my hardest, and I was training hard, and I stood on stage completely with a feminine physique, never too bulky. It's all about that balance, but no, not going to happen.
Okay. All right. Another one is, so when women start doing squats, especially when they start dieting, they step into a program and they're starting to train, and muscles start to respond pretty quickly. And their legs start to get bigger. But that's going to change once the fat is stripped off. So you have women who say, "Oh, my legs are getting fatter." How do you help them reconcile that? No, this is the ugly duckling phase. You're going through a transition. Just stick with it. How do you do that?
Just takes a lot of coaching, and for them to see that you're exactly right. Because what happens is now you're building that beautiful muscle underneath there, but we have to strip down the body fat for you to see that hard work that you're working so hard for. So again, it's really just that balance of continuing with your workout efforts, but eating consistently, because if you're working out harder and you're eating like crap, then that is the bulkiness people are seeing. But really, it's not bulk. It's just the added body fat with the nice muscle that we work so hard for our metabolism.
And the last thing I want to ask you is, sleep is so important to progress. We know that poor sleep changes the landscape of insulin sensitivity. Poor sleep can actually cause lots of hormonal imbalances. When you have a woman who says, "I'm doing it," and then you start to strip away and you go, and she says, "Well, I don't go to bed until 1 or 2. I put the kids down. It's my time. And then I get up at 5:30. What's the conversation like when you try to teach somebody how important their sleep is to their progress?
Well, I'm going to add another layer to that: sleep and recovery. So really just try to explain to people that you can work your butt off with your workouts, and you can work your butt off with your meal prep and dialing in your nutrition. But if you're not getting the proper sleep or taking the time to properly recover. So for example, in the GFit app and the GFit lifestyle, on Wednesdays, I'm a huge promoter of yoga and stretching. And on Sundays, I promote an unplug day, a day of rest, a day of doing nothing. And the reason for this is because, they want to grind, less sleep, get up early, hustle. That's the mindset that we're trained is going to bring us to success. But the hardest thing that I've had to do, but the most rewarding, is for people to trust that they need that rest. They need to get to bed earlier. They need to take those days of unplugging. They need to take those days of really focusing on their recovery and slowing down. So it's really just coaching and sharing stories of why this works and how detrimental it is to their long-term success and avoiding burnout.
The website is GinaAliotti.com, and that is, put it up here again, GinaAliotti.com. Download the GFit app. It's free for 7 days. Give it a try. I think you'll find that you like it. I have had some health challenges lately, and I'm working through them. And I'm 62 years old. My body doesn't want to do the things I wanted to do right now, but I have a lot of strategies, and I'm using some very powerful strategies. But with that being said, the whole shutdown, I didn't train much. In fact, not only did I not train much, but I took up drinking wine. I keep thinking about Vince Gironda, but people always told me that when Vince got older, he started to hit the wine a lot, and I think part of it is reconciling with age that, oh my God, I thought I was going to be able to keep squatting and keep deadlifting and keep doing all the things because I was superhuman. I host this show. I know everything, And so what I did was I wasn't training. I was drinking wine, and I really fell into a very, very dark hole for a while. Mm-hmm. But, I have a strong will. That's how I made the changes in my life the first time. And I just got up in the morning and started doing cardio. Didn't feel good. I had some problems. I'm doing 2 miles in the morning, nothing heroic. I'm getting to the gym in the afternoon, and oh my God, I feel so good. And I think to myself, this is my effing medicine. Other people go to the doctor and they get prescribed a drug to hide the symptoms. This is my medicine. This is what I have to do for the rest of my life to feel great and survive. This is it.
That is exactly right. That's why I show up every day. Now, let me ask you, Carl, how long did it take you to have that conclusion? Was it a week? Was it 2 weeks? We talked about the length of time.
I'll tell you. So we went to, Elisa and I went to Tennessee to be with Aaron Singerman and his family for New Year's Eve. And Aaron gets up and walks 5 miles every morning. And so I hadn't walked. In fact, my cardio conditioning was probably the worst it's ever been. Even when I was a big fat slob, I was young enough where I could still grind it out if I had to. I have half a left foot. I've had 2 surgeries on my foot. My left foot is not functioning properly. So it's like I have a peg leg. And so walking doesn't feel good to me, but I push myself now. And I said to him, he was getting up one morning, it was 6 o'clock. I was in the kitchen making hot water for Elise's tea. And I said, where you going? He goes, I go for a walk every morning, 5 miles. And I looked at him and I thought, He goes, come on. He goes, if you can't do it, I'll walk you home and then I'll go back out again. We walked around his neighborhood in Brentwood. I ended up doing almost the whole 5 miles with him and went home. And I said to him when we got home, thank you. I said, you know what? I'm going to do cardio every morning from now. And I've done it ever since New Year's Eve. I started. And it took me till this week to actually, because then I started training in the evening. I leave the studio, I go to train. And in the beginning, it was a lot because I'm like, all of a sudden I've gone from alcoholic schlub to 2-a-days. You know what I mean? It's like,
more.
Yeah. But I got to tell you, it was yesterday morning. I cut 5 minutes off the 2 miles. I actually did the first half a mile with a 40-pound weight vest on. You know, I'm starting to push myself because I know how strong I can be. And that's also a danger. If you were strong in the past, sometimes you can go deep too fast and you can hurt yourself. But all of a sudden, it was yesterday morning, I thought, I feel so friggin' good. The day was great. I felt good and my outlook was different. And I thought, this really is my medicine. This is it. This is what I have to do from now on.
See, you just wrapped it up with a perfect story. And you notice that they say 3 weeks, 21 days to start to create that habit. And that's right where you are. Now, if you keep going, they say, who's they? I don't know. But at 90 days, it starts to become a lifestyle. And so, when we talk about how long, I love that it didn't take long for you to want more. It took 1 day and you're like, I feel good. And then you kept going. And at 3 weeks, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is my medicine. And now once you keep going, you're going to get to that point where you don't even think about it anymore. You just wake up, Aaron, and go.
Yeah, and I'm already thinking about, okay, once I get another 2 or 3 minutes off of my 2 miles, I'm going to go to 3 miles and go back up and, like shift gears into second gear. And my training is going great. My strength is still very, very, very good now. But now it's just, I give myself the next year. So
good.
when I tell people about, oh no, but a year. Yeah, because my slides started in 2018. I had those 2 surgeries in 19. It hurt my foot in 18. So I couldn't train legs the way I wanted to. I wasn't doing cardio the way I should have. 19. So it took me almost 3 years to get dilapidated. I would be an idiot to think it's going to take me any less than 1 year to even start to make inroads into getting back. It'll probably take me 2 years to get my strength back to where it was. But here's the difference. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed. Like, it's almost like entrepreneurs, they start a company and then you hear they sold that business for $600 million, but they also earned money while they were building the business. There's intrinsic value to what I'm doing right now. And there's extrinsic value. The intrinsic value is I'm getting better and better every single day. The extrinsic value is in 2 years, I'm going to be back to myself.
And it flies, Carl. It flies.
I'm going to be 2 years older in 2 years, no matter what. I might as well do this.
Yes, exactly. I know that's such a great story because there it is right there. And I love that, you're willing to just be on the journey and have fun with it along the way. Make it fun. You've got your end goal. You show up every day. You make it fun. You get creative eventually with your food. You change up your path. Maybe you walk a different way, but you start to just have fun with it. And before you know it, I think that's the problem is people are looking at it like a short-term thing. Diets are horrible and working out every day. But when you start to just have fun and to create a lifestyle, that's where it begins. So that's really cool. You're giving yourself that time.
Here's another interesting thing. So did they ever make potatoes and eggs in your house when you were growing up?
My Nona did make like the red potatoes. Yeah. But I wasn't like a steak and potato family.
Okay. So I'm Calabrese, Southern Italian, and all the men in my family were brick masons. And so they all worked on construction jobs. And my mother used to make, my grandmother used to make, my aunt used to make, they always made potato and egg heroes, sandwiches on Italian bread. Now that I know about nutrition, I think, man, that was a lot of carbs. But don't forget, these guys worked hard with their bodies. They were lifting stuff. They were, climbing ladders. And so when I was a kid, my mother used to send potato and egg sandwiches to school for my lunch. And I used to love them. And we used to get them into the beach too. I remember the crunch of like a little sand would get in the sandwich and you'd bite down and you could feel the sand. So I started making potatoes and eggs again. And I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor right now. It's from a company called Berry. You can't see it. It's all the way up on my arm. And these things are great. By the way, if you're dialing your diet in, a continuous glucose monitor is amazing. Even if you only wear it for a week or two to dial in your meals. I know which meals spike insulin and I know which meals just coast on along. Well, it turns out that potatoes and eggs made with 6 eggs and about 35 to 40 grams of carbohydrates in the form of, I cook the potatoes ahead of time and then I throw them in diced up and just kind of warm them back up again. It's a 9. And so 10 is the best you can get on a meal. Like that's a meal that doesn't even make your sugar go up. So I've fallen in love with potatoes and eggs again. I can't wait to get up in the morning and do my cardio because then I make a big thing of potatoes and eggs and I eat it. And at night I have it as my last meal. And I'm going to start prepping potatoes and eggs. As in fact, Elisa is picking up 4 of those flats. It's like 2 dozen of eggs from Costco. I'm going to just start pre-making potatoes and eggs and eating that.
Carl, and then you can just slice it.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah.
And I love what you said. When I do this, then I can have that. I'm going to go on my walk and then I get my potatoes and eggs.
Yeah.
So
yeah. In fact, I'm going to put a link up on tomorrow's show. If people want a continuous glucose monitor, we're going to get you a good discount from this company called Very. If you really want to dial your diet in, a continuous glucose monitor is gold because where one person says this doesn't raise my blood sugar, it may raise yours. And it's easy. You just eat, and then you look and you go, oh, look what it did. Oh, that's no good. I don't want that anymore. That's great.
Good stuff.
Go to GinaAliotti.com, GinaAliotti.com. Sign up for the GFit app. Check it out. Gina, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, Carl.
Take care. And that's it for today. We have a great show planned for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting show. For those of you who have teenagers who maybe have some problems, let's say bulimic or emotional, depression, anxiety. Jerry Negrato is coming on the show tomorrow. He and his wife started an organization called Nothing Hidden. They lost a daughter to depression. It's very, very sad. She was a very beautiful girl. And they're going to come on and talk to parents about approaches. If you are trapped in a situation where you just, the doctors aren't giving you good help and information, and you really want to do something good for your child, they've walked the walk. They understand what needs to be done. So check it out. Tomorrow, that'll be on the air. My buddy Josh Field says, potato and eggs may be better than PB&J. Haha. Especially if you fry the potatoes up in some duck fat. I'm using coconut oil, but you're right. Duck fat would be gold. That would be gold. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for being here. Please share the show. Please share the show. Please share the show. We'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, if you heard the secret word and you're paying attention today during the commercial breaks, do your best to spell it because Natalie picked the word and it's a really good word for you to use in your vocabulary. Email it to onair@superhumanradio.net. And if you're selected, you'll win a box of tasty pastries. All right, see you tomorrow. Take care.